Hello, this is our Biology 123 group project with members Andrew Graffio, Megan Gross, Rachel Goldman, and Kevin Griffin.
Duck penises are a great example of how genitalia in certain species can adapt to the challenges of producing offspring. Male ducks have corkscrew penises. Female ducks have corkscrew vaginas, which are conveniently curved in the opposite direction to match the shape of the penis. Ducks mate in a rather forceful way, and usually this force is initiated by the male ducks. Female ducks have developed so that they can avoid being inseminated by a male whose ducklings they would rather not have, i.e., dead ends, which branch off from the vagina itself that do not lead to the female's ovaries. Due to such conflict between the sexes, as well as competition among males to inseminate the females, male ducks have evolved such that their penises grow back each mating season, varying in length.
We want to look at why exactly the duck penis grows back stronger each mating season. Is the growth of the duck penis due to, or perhaps dependent upon, the challenges of finding a mate? Our hypothesis is that the duck penis grows back longer each season because they are genetically programmed or have adapted so that they can increase their penis size when there is a lot of competition.
If that's not the case, that would mean that the null hypothesis is true, which is that the duck's penis growing back longer is not related to the challenge of finding a mate, whether or not there is competition.
Based on our independent variable of the sex ratio between the males and the females and the dependent variable of the penile length regrowth, we are predicting that the males with greater competition will in fact have a greater penile length regrowth than the males without the male competition. Our prediction is based off of multiple theories of thought, one coming from Patricia Brennan of Yale University, and the article that was written on Wired that was titled Duck Penis Length Depends on Other Guys.
We will conduct an experiment that includes 5 steps. The first step is to locate a large group of ducks that we can conduct this experiment on. The second step is to separate these ducks into 2 random groups, including a control group and an experimental group. The third step of our experiment is to record the observations of both the control group and the experimental group between their mating seasons. The fourth step is to put all the ducks back together in one environment and record their mating patterns and see how the ducks' penises have been affected by this experiment. Finally, we will put all the information together and analyze our data to come up with a conclusion. It is important that we have a clan of ducks that is large enough so that we can get enough results. The groups that we will split the ducks into will be completely random. The control group will remain with the female ducks in their natural habitat. We expect that the penises of the male ducks that are in the control group will fall off after mating season and then grow back in proportion to the amount of males that are currently in their environment. The experimental group will be isolated from the whole group, especially from the males. This will allow us to monitor the isolated ducks and see if they naturally grow back large penises based on how many males they were surrounded by in their past, or if they will grow back very small penises as they have physically been isolated from other males and have not been able to size up their competition. Our experiment avoids confounding variables because the experimental group is completely isolated from all other males and females, meaning that the penis growth could only be caused by their genetics and not from their environment. Once mating season has begun, we will put the isolated ducks back in their original environment with other males and females. We will already have our data on what has happened to the penises of both the male ducks in the control group and in the experimental group. We will now record these ducks' mating patterns and see how their current penises affect their ability to mate. In addition, we will monitor the experimental group's penises to see if being integrated with many male ducks after a long period of isolation will change their penises once mating season has already begun. We will compile all of our data and create a conclusion of whether ducks' penises actually grow based on how many males they are surrounded by, or if the ducks are genetically programmed to grow back large penises because they know competition will arrive.
Therefore, in conclusion, we would expect that a male with a greater male to female sex ratio would have a longer penis than just an isolated male. And this is because of various evidence that we have based this off of, and also the fact of what we've learned in class. The intro, question, and hypothesis were done by Rachel Goldman, production by Kevin Griffin, methods by Megan Gross, and conclusion and video by Andrew Graffio.